No more of this. No more. No more of this fucking cancer of the world. Scum of the fucking world. And no more of this. I don't need this. I don't need to destroy my mental health or stream with this unbelievable dumbass motherfucking game. Gentlemen, there's something we haven't done in a long time. Thank you, Cocaine. Something I realized lately as I'm streaming is that chat right here is becoming more and more stupid. They're getting more and more fucking ridiculous, and I think it has a lot to do with Corona. I think it's that a lot of you guys can't go to school anymore. You're just sitting at home all day watching bathtub streamers and gingers, and it doesn't help your brain a lot. We are bringing back my favorite section of the stream. We are bringing back the front page Wikipedia reaction. Yes, toxicity is over. Thank you, Royce. Toxicity is over on this channel, and education returns. After that, toxicity comes back. We're playing Counter-Strike. I know Kuba's already getting ready. I got my tea. I just ate way too much stuff. Drake with the 10. Drake loves education. Thank you, Drake, for 10 gifted subs. The next 10 minutes are dedicated to you, Drake. Okay, this is for you. Let's go, guys. Today's featured article: 19th century description of the crucified rebels. Hey, crucified rebels. What is going on? Let's read. Thank you, Phil. Thank you. The Battle of the Saw was the culminating battle of a campaign fought between a Carthaginian army led by Hamilcar Barca and a rebel force led by Spendius in 238 before Christ, in what is now northern Tunisia. Carthage was fighting a coalition of mutinous soldiers and rebellious African cities in the mercenary war which had started in 240 BC. Unable to confront the Carthaginian war elephants and cavalry on open ground, the rebels stayed on higher ground. The high ground, man, it's not just a meme. And rougher terrain and harassed the Carthaginian army. After several months of campaigning, Hamilcar trapped the rebels, pinned against local mountains known as the Saw due to their saw-like shape. With their supply lines blockaded and with their food exhausted, the rebels ate their horses, their prisoners, and then their slaves, hoping that the comrades in Tunis would sortie to rescue them. Eventually, the Carthaginians, led by the elephants, attacked the starving rebels, and they were fully massacred. The captured rebel leaders were crucified in sight of the comrades in Tunis. F in the chat for these rebels, man. They might be cannibals, but they died more than 2,000 years ago. Look at this. You delete magic already. The channel is back. Thank you, Ned, for the 5, man. Thank you very, very much, brother. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's go to my favorite section on the front page of Wikipedia, which is Did You Know? The most random fucking knowledge in the world that nobody fucking understands. Gentlemen, let's take a look at Did You Know? Education time. Did you know that biologist Joni L. Rutter, in the picture here, led the development of the All of Us research program to include more than 1 million participants to advance precision medicine? Is that some Hero Academica quirk or some shit? Did you know that the 1949 film Hardly a Criminal was mostly filmed in Buenos Aires and that the city's critics called it Argentina's outstanding film of the year? You gotta be kidding me. What? Wow. Who would have known? That is true education, man. Did you know that former ballerina Cadetta Baldo briefly came out of retirement to perform as the stepmother in Christopher Wheeldon's Cinderella? Still better than magic, I guess, huh? Did you know that the radio station WLMB in Cumming, Georgia? I know a lot of people that must live there from chat. Thank you, Drake, for another 11. Can you guys just fucking chill? What the fuck's wrong with you? I'm looking at Cumming here. I'm from Cumming. Beautiful, beautiful. A lot of bathtub streamers over there. Thank you for the 11, Drake. Stop gifting subs. I want to just educate the masses here. Did you know that although he was born in the United Kingdom, Isaac Hope was elected to represent Tobago as the Legislative Council of Trinidad and Tobago? Jesus. Thank you for Morians. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. It's getting better. Did you know that Camille Saint-Saëns called his first violin sonata his Hippogriff Sonata, suggesting that its technical demands could only be met by a legendary creature? Damn, that's fucking alpha. He's like, hey, listen to my sonata. Only legendary creatures can do it. Very alpha. Thank you, Camille Saint-Saëns. Maybe you're a woman. I don't know. But he said his. That must be a woman. Camille. It's a man. It's a man. Camille. Charles Camille. All the best, man. Did you know that Shirley Congdon, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Bradford, was the first in her family to attend... Dude, wow. That must legit be the most useless information I've ever seen on Wikipedia. In my entire life of school, university, and reading, this right here is probably, unlyingly, the most useless information I've ever seen in my entire life. There's a lot of useless information in the world, which is at least funny. But this right here, Shirley Congdon, the Vice Chancellor, not even the real Chancellor, of the University of Bradford, was the first in her family to attend university. Alhamdulillah, we achieved education. Wow. And did you know that RMI sounded best with high scream cone? What? Okay, Jesus Christ. Let's take a look at the picture of the day. Picture of the day. Let's take a look. Shut the fuck up about how and listen to education, you monkey. That's why your grades are so bad. Okay, we have like some kind of flower. Looks like a desert flower. I would think this desert is around in the desert a lot. This is the Cirsium eriforum, the woolly thistle. This is a tall biennial plant native to Central and Western Europe. Oh. The large, it's not really desert. The large globose flower can be up to 7 centimeters. In monkey language, 2.8 inches in diameter. Each flower contains many tubular florets with long purple tubes and purple stamens, each with a spiny bract covered with the white woolly hairs through which a spine projects. This woolly thistle was photographed in Kozara National Park, Bosnia. Bosnia represent. Bosnia. Amazing. What's in the news and on this day? Let's take a look at on this day first and then in the news. And then we're done with education. Don't worry, cancer's coming back. Today is also Grow Nation Day in Rastafari. What? Let's actually learn. Grow Nation Day is an important Rastafari holiday and second after Coronation Day. It is celebrated in honor of Haile Selassie's 1966 visit to Jamaica. On this day, in the year 900, I know you guys love history, Adept was pardoned by the chief of Tondo on the island of Luzon and recorded on the Lugana copperplate inscription, the earliest known calendar dated document found in the Philippines. Let's look what happened on this day in 1789. The ladies of Trenton Social Club hosted a reception for President-elect George Washington as he journeyed to New York for his first inauguration. Wow. Wow. I'm getting super tired from this fuck education. 1863. Following his exile from Baghdad, Baha'u'llah, the founder of Baha'i faith, began a 12-day stay in the Garden of Ridwan, where he declared himself to be he whom God shall make manifest. Kind of narcissistic, man, like, oh, I'm the one that God, kind of egoistic. 1975. The Vietnam War. Dude, the Vietnam War was still going on in 75? I didn't even know, man. Thank you, Dois Lols. Nguyen Van Duy resigned as president of South Vietnam and was succeeded by Tran Van Hoc as the town of Quang Loc fell after a last stand.
You spoke about this, but have
oh yeah, the Americans went out and then North Vietnam fucked everyone up, right? Thank you, Spingos.
The education section.
I've seen that, yeah, I've seen the bingos. Anyway, other than that, let's get into the news, gentlemen. We're looking at the news and then we're showing respect to free dead people. We're always showing respect to free dead people. In the United States, former police officer Derek Chauvin is found guilty of the murder of George Floyd. Wow. Oh, wow, I didn't even know. That is big news. Verdict. Jury deliberation began on April 19, 2021, following closing arguments. On April 20, the jury announced it had reached a verdict after 10 hours of deliberation. Chauvin was found guilty on all 3 counts. One of the 3 counts. His bail was revoked and he was remanded into custody by the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office, which transferred Chauvin to the Minnesota Department of Corrections. Chauvin was then booked into Oak Park Heights State Prison. Chauvin faces a maximum of 40 years in prison, but Minnesota sentencing guidelines suggest a sentence of 12.5 years. The state has indicated that it will request a longer sentence than the guidelines recommend. Oh, so the guy who killed George Floyd is fucked. They got him. I agree with this. I very much agree with this. A lot of people want to argue that, I mean, this is a very weird topic, right? You have to be very careful about this shit. Oh, George Floyd was a criminal, he was high, blah blah blah, but it doesn't change the fact that this guy, this trained police officer, deliberately stood on his fucking neck for what, 8 minutes or some shit, and with his knowledge he should have known that he might be killing this individual, man. Where's the charges? I just want to see the charges. 400 witnesses. Alter, wow. Opening statement. Where's the charges? I just want to understand the charges. Charges here. Sherman was arrested, blah, 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 initially charged with third-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter. I don't understand the law system in America. If you murder someone, how's it also manslaughter? Shouldn't it just be one of the above? The other one writes that one out? Like in Germany, you can't be a murderer and a manslaughterer. You're each one of them. You're one of them. Making him the first white American police officer in Minnesota to be charged with the death of an African-American civilian. On June 3rd, charges were amended to include second-degree murder, specifically unintentional second-degree... that makes a lot of sense, yeah. Unintentional second-degree murder while attempting to commit felony assault. Oh, I don't understand American law shit, man. Interesting. So that happened. Actual education here. Okay. I guess these lawyers are gonna try to go into the second distance, I guess. Anyway, the president of Chad, Idris Deby, is killed during a rebel offensive. Dude, I heard that. Dude, the president of Chad died on the front lines. Something that really doesn't happen anymore, right? Northern Chad offensive was initiated by the Chadian rebel group Front of Change and Concord in Chad. It began in the Tibesti region in the north of the country following the 2021 Chadian presidential election. The President Deby was killed during that offensive. Jesus Christ. Events. After the 11 April border attack. The news don't say anything about this, right? I've never heard of this. The fact forces entered the country on convoys and clashed with the army in several cities and towns and headed towards N'Djamena, the capital of Chad. As a result of the growing instability, the United States and the Kingdom withdrew diplomatic staff from the country. As of, if there was oil, they would fucking help, man. As of 19th of April 2021, clashes continued between FACT forces and elements of the Chadian armed forces. FACT forces claimed independence in the northern part of the Tibesti region. At least 300 FACT fighters were reportedly killed in clashes, whilst at least 5 Chadian soldiers had also been killed. That's a very good ratio. But man, you fucking lost your general. This is not how you play Total War. The army said on 9th of April that they had completely destroyed FACT convoys heading towards the capital. An army spokesman said that the convoys were decimated, blah, blah, blah. After the clashes, General Azim Bermadoua Aguna of the Chadian armed forces claimed that the army had captured 150 soldiers. On 20th of April, which was yesterday, President Deby was killed on the front line. Wow. Jesus. Dude, only 5 people died, and one of them is the president? Jesus. Fucking King Leonidas over here. Jesus Christ, man. Wow. A president dying on front lines. That still exists. That's crazy, man. They lied with the numbers? Probably, yeah. Probably. They were focusing him? Jesus. What else is in the news? Miguel Diaz-Chanel is elected the first secretary of the Communist Party of Cuba, succeeding Raul Castro. Raul Castro has resigned, right? And now the Castro line has stopped on Cuba. On Mars, NASA helicopter Ingenuity makes its first powered flight on another planet. Yeah, we heard about that. And in South Africa, a fire on Table Mountain, Cape Town, destroys historic monuments, including Most Hurts Mill and the University of Cape Town. Yeah, there's a huge fire in South Africa. No one talks about this. And we have the Myanmar protests and COVID-19 pandemic. Guys, education is almost over. We now show respect to free dead people. We always do that. Let's show respect to free dead people. I just wanted to see who they are and how they died. And here we have, first of all, Walter Frederick Mondale, who died 2 days ago. He was very old. Jesus. He was very, very old. Was an American politician, diplomat, and lawyer who served as the 42nd Vice President of the United States, 1977 to 1998, under President Jimmy Carter. He was a U.S. Senator from Minnesota, and he was a Democrat nominee, also in a presidential election. Okay. From the chat room, is it COVID-19? I always wonder if they died from COVID-19. He died 93 years old from natural causes. That's a good death, I guess. The day before his death, Mondale had phone conversations with Jimmy Carter, Bill Clinton, Joe Biden, and Kamala Harris. Oh, this guy was like a big thing, man. Joe Biden gave tribute to Mondale in a public statement, calling Mondale a dear friend and mentor. Well, left in the chat for Mr. Walter Mondale, American politician. Also, we have Ranjit Sinha. Wasn't that old. Was an Indian police officer and was the former director of the Central Bureau of Investigation there. He was the director general, blah, blah, blah. He was like a police guy in India. How did he die? Is it kind of weird that you only look at the death? He died from COVID-19. Dude, it's so crazy lately. If you check dead people, they all die from COVID-19. Most of them. Fucking scary shit. F in the chat for Ranjit, who was a policeman in India. Apparently a big thing. And finally, we have Roger Solomon. Roger Allen Francis Solomon, also very old, was a Canadian provincial politician and educator of Prince Edward Island. I don't know who that is. He served as a member of the Legislative Assembly of Prince Edward Island from 1993 to 1996, representing First Kings and sitting with the Prince Edward Island Rule Party. I have no idea who that is, but all the best to him in the afterlife. He died. They don't know why he died. And that is TommyKay education. Thank you. That was 20 minutes of education. I know it is hard, but we did it. Everybody, class, name something that happened in this educational stream. I remember there's a woman and she's the first vice president of university from her family.